Do. Welcome to the Friends with Benefits podcast, a business podcast about revenue-generating partnerships, not a podcast about business time with friends. We're your co-hosting couple. I'm Jason.
And I'm Sam. Welcome to the show, friends. Welcome, friends. Today we're doing something a little bit different.
Very different. Quite different, actually. We're in the same room.
Are you nervous?
Very. Kind of sweaty. Palms are sweaty, like we're on our first date.
It's just different. Right now, for those long-term listeners, we normally are in different rooms. But our day-to-day is we coexist in the same room when we work together.
Many of you have seen us in the same room together, back-to-back calls together.
Yeah. And so today we're trying something different. We are recording in the same room. If you want to see the whole office, go check it out on YouTube.
There it is.
Here it is. We are doing something different today because this is going to be airing on
Love Day.
Valentine's Day.
Valentine's. Happy Valentine's, love.
You too. Happy Valentine's to all of our friends.
Yeah, we love you guys.
We do love you guys. So, as I was saying, we coexist in this house. We work in the same office.
Mm-hmm.
We work in the same industry. We have the same children.
The same dog, which is here on the floor
We
with
have
us.
the same dog. There's not a lot of separation between our lives. And it works for us, but that's kind of fascinating for a lot of people that we talk to.
I rather enjoy it. I think it's the best.
I also think it's the best. I was thinking about it. By the way, this is also a different podcast for us because this is completely unscripted.
Very much so. Yeah, for those of you wondering like about the shows, like it's typically we know what we're going into as we record. Like we've got an idea of the questions, we've got some stuff laid out, we're prepared, we've done a bunch of research. But I guess, this is...
I know you.
Yeah, I've been doing 7 years worth of research, or however long this has been now. I've lost track. Over 9 years.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm way off.
But we really have no idea where this conversation is going to go. So join us on this wild ride.
If it's all about relationships, we're going to talk about our relationship and kind of a little bit different than the typical business purpose-built relationship that we generally talk about.
Yeah, in honor of Valentine's Day, we decided to take a little bit of flip the script a little bit and talk about this relationship. So one thing I was thinking about downstairs, as I was alluding to earlier, is how I think one thing that does work and makes it different is, yes, we're both in partnerships, but we're both in very different ecosystems of partnerships. Like,
what does that mean to be in different ecosystems?
I mean, I live and breathe and bleed Salesforce. So, and you hardly ever play there. So
you won't let me. You told me to stay away.
That is not true. But
yes, I play in particularly I like to spend my time in the MarTech space. And for those who aren't familiar with what that means, the marketing technology. So that's where I've been spending my time the last 7 years, working with different technology companies, building within technology companies, Drift, Terminus, those are MarTech type companies. And, while I've built partnerships with Salesforce, I haven't gone as deep into the blue cloud as you have.
But I think that's in our favor because while we still have like a ton of friends that are in each other's spaces, we don't overlap often in terms of like day-to-day work activities.
Right.
So
makes it fun because like now I'm getting to meet your people, you get to meet my people, and like we're just building one big fun, network here within the Yarby household.
Yeah, and I had this like weird image of my head, like we're like a bridge that together we can bring each other's network and get to know them. And
it's kind of like a big old thing of connect the dots.
Venn diagram.
A Venn diagram. Yeah, you can go that route.
But I do think it's fascinating. Like the similarities are absolutely there. And like what you talk to your people about, I mean, we refer to this a lot, our dinner table conversations. In full transparency, we aren't talking at the dinner table. there are kids throwing food and
Yeah.
work doesn't come up.
Sliding under the table.
Post-dinner, post-bedtime conversations all revolve around really similar themes, regardless of the difference in our network. So
yeah, I'm still laughing the other night as we were putting together stuff on the couch, and right before we went to bed, you're like, "Are we nerds?" And I was like, "Absolutely, yes, we are nerds. We realize that, but we fully embrace it."
oh, hey, this is airing on Valentine's. Let's do a quick pitch for what we were nerding out about.
Ah, yes. So we were trying to find something fun to do on Valentine's. Friends, relationship, love. If you remember in grade school, you'd pass out those tear off perforated Valentine's cards.
We're literally making some for our kids this weekend.
Yeah, we're doing that this weekend with our kids for their school. So we came up with the idea to put together these friends cards, Valentine's cards, and a lot of cheeky business partnership puns and all sorts of fun stuff on there.
Yeah, and we were up till 11:15 coming
Way
up
past
with
our bedtime.
very much though, coming up with some not so safe for LinkedIn go-to-market puns.
Yeah, they didn't all make it into the Google Drive.
They're all safe.
Yeah.
They're just, I mean, we had way too much fun with it. So even if nobody clicks on them and nobody posts them, Jason and I got a good date night out of it. So thank you all for indulging us.
Absolutely. We'll drop a link to the Google Drive in the show notes, but you can also find them on LinkedIn where we're posting them.
And if you listen to this in real time and you post today with the hashtag Friends with Benefits, you could be the lucky recipient of some delicious Grove cookies.
Yes, Grove cookies, which it's a little known fact, actually not at all known fact yet, that they are somewhat of a sponsor of this podcast. And we are very grateful to have them as our guest gift delivery product, or whatever you want to call it. Each of our guests gets a box of Grove cookies, and I just love that because I think those cookies are so freaking good.
And it's another husband-wife company partnership.
Yeah, and a former guest, Grayson.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I have sent myself 3 boxes of those cookies.
Hopefully you're not listening, Grayson.
Yeah. But no, I've paid for them. Like I've sent them to myself through Sendoso.
Ah, got it. Okay.
They're that good. It's like going to the grocery store or Amazon, getting yourself the best cookies.
They are that good. If you haven't had them, figure out how to do so. You could just post, and that might be your step in. So Jason knows this. I would be surprised if any of you know this, but I am a huge Armchair Expert fan. Like, I could binge Dak Shepard's podcasts. I do. What do I mean? I could. I actively do binge them.
I hear about them all. I don't have to watch it because I get the cliff notes every day. Most conversations start off by like, "Oh, I was listening to Armchair Expert. Or I was listening to Dax," and
I actually have gotten self-conscious about that of every other sentence that comes out of my mouth. Anyways, huge fan. I was listening to an episode the other day, though, where he had Kristen Bell on, who, if you are totally unfamiliar with, that's his wife. She's also Anna in the movie in the movie Frozen, among with many, many other
random kid facts,
blockbusters. But I loved this episode because they opened up about their relationship together, but they also took a fun turn. And I don't know if you all remember, but several years ago, the New York Times posted an article. It was 36 questions that lead to love. The premise being, technically, I guess you could go through this 36 questions with anybody and come out the other end with some sort of adoration. So
36 love questions.
I think that you and I did these like in the early days. Do you remember that?
No, I don't.
Well, that happened. For those of you that remember that.
Good.
With me.
So it'd be like having new answers all over again.
Yeah,
kind of like 50 First Dates. I don't remember any of it.
Maybe, yeah. So we're going to do something fun today. As I mentioned, we are not prepped for this. This is totally unscripted.
Yeah. We thought it'd be fun to do a kind of get to know you from a relationship standpoint.
Yeah. I'm going to just propose the structure is.
So looking at this list of 36 questions, are we just going to like kind of scroll and just randomly stop with the finger?
I mean, if that's your method of chaos, go for it.
Yeah, I love me some good chaos. You know that. It's like boom right there.
I'm going to actually intentionally pick them, but this is unscripted. So Oh, here's an easy one. Here's a volley that I'm just going to start with. Name 3 things you and your partner appear to have in common.
Job, recreational activities, meaning like outdoor activities and stuff like that. And I would say love of new experiences.
That's pretty good.
Are we supposed to, do I ask you a question now?
Yeah, I was thinking if I had anything to add, but you can ask me a question.
Let's see here. Okay. This is kind of grave, but our house containing everything we own catches fire. After saving, obviously, the kids and Lucy, our dog, you have time to safely make a final dash to save any one item. What would it be and why?
I mean, I feel like the digitization of our world has changed to this. Like, we don't have printed photos. You know this about me, but I am 100% a purger and I don't hold things super sentimental. So I do have, I mean, I think I would come grab the like essential paperwork, like the social security cards and all that. And then I have a box of the kids' artwork.
It's a good one.
Everything else, I mean, yes, I'd love to get our laptops because like that's where our lives are. Everything else is on the cloud though. Like we can reprint photos, you know. What about you? I'm going to put that back to you.
It's a good one. I was going to say computer, but you kind of made me think otherwise. Is in my mad dash, have I grabbed my phone?
It's always in your hand. So yes, the house is on fire and you are looking at LinkedIn.
Probably using the flash. I'm not. Probably using my flashlight to navigate through the house in the dark. So if my phone is not in my hand, I'm grabbing that. If not, it'd be a little complicated because it's in that closet up there. But like my box of like cards and notes and photos and stuff that I cherish.
Okay. All right. If you could wake up tomorrow having gained any one quality or ability, what would it be?
One quality or ability, like anything.
Apparently.
I would like to have some abilities to, like teleport anywhere I want to go.
So that's
like
a good
I'd say,
one.
like, you know, your namesake Samantha could, move my nose around and appear in like North Carolina if I wanted to, or appear in Brazil. Like,
oh my God,
I want that kind of
that.
ability to just kind of appear anywhere without having to like deal with all the time it takes to travel places.
I'm so in.
Is that an ability that I can have?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm so in. I love that ability. Also, little known fact about me. Well, if you know me, you know this, but I have terrible motion sickness.
Yeah, you do.
So I'm going to add that to being able to teleport and not being sick. And he just mentioned that there, but I am named after Samantha Stevens on the Bewitched show. So for those of you that aren't watching, he was wiggling his nose.
Yep. What is it? Bewitched? I forgot the husband's name, but that makes me him.
Darren.
Darren. That's right. I guess that makes me Darren.
Darren.
Okay, let's see. I'm going to this one. What would you constitute a perfect day for you?
Well, I would probably sleep in till 7:30.
Anytime past 6:30, really?
Yeah. And then the babies would come wake me up.
Okay.
We would, and I mean like sweetly wake me up, not like tackle me and ask me to get up immediately.
Not like every day?
They'd like bring a book and be like, let's read together. And I'd be like, okay, great. And then you would bring me coffee.
I'm taking notes right now. That's great. Keep going.
And then the
Is
kids.
there breakfast in bed or no?
No.
Okay.
The kids would promptly then leave after like 10 minutes. And I could have 15, 20 minutes to meditate, maybe an additional 30 to do some yoga. And then we would have smoothie. Jason makes smoothie for us every morning.
Every morning?
It's a complicated recipe. If you're curious, ask him. And then we would go on an outside adventure with the kids. Everybody's happy. No one's complaining.
No one's whining.
It's also summer, so it would be nice out. Then we would come home. Both kids would nap for 2 hours. And I would go outside and garden, play in the wildflower field. And then the kids would wake up and we would go just like play in the backyard. Just, do play as 3 and 5-year-olds do.
Yep.
And then we'd have a nice dinner with friends. Friends would come over. We'd have a good barbecue. They would leave by 7:15. We would put the kids down. It would be a very easy bedtime, no whining, but lots of snuggles. And then we would put them down. You and I would go outside. It's a beautiful night. We would play bocce ball in the backyard.
Common occurrence here in the summer.
The sun would set at
some non-alcoholic beers in hand.
NA beers. The sun would set at 10, but we would be in bed at 9:45. It's a great day.
That sounds pretty perfect. I think a lot of that would be the same for me, except for I'd probably get up around, 5:30, be able to get an extended workout in, not feel like I got to be rushed to get in before the kids wake up. I would have a cup of coffee, get a good 20, 30 minutes of reading in. Then the kids would come downstairs. They would go wake you up. Then we'd pick up your day from there. I'd probably have some fly fishing in there as well. And maybe while the kids are napping or something, I'm out at the creek or the river doing a little bit of fly fishing.
Would make sense. I would see that.
Yeah, all the same.
Okay, here's a really deep one. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready. Let's go.
Okay. If you were to die this evening, please don't do that.
Okay.
With no opportunity to communicate with anybody, what would you most regret not having told somebody, and why haven't you told them yet?
And if it's somebody that I regret, I feel like I'd tell them everything that I can. Maybe the one regret would be I didn't tell them I love them enough, or that I spent enough time with them before their dying days, or that I didn't get the chance to truly be either the best family member or the best friend, depending on who the person was.
Okay, but wait, like, do you feel like you're in a good place in all of your I's are dotted and T's are crossed? Because that was a really general answer.
I don't spend enough time talking to the friends or family that I do care a ton about. We have very busy lives on the work front, the kids. By the time I get the kids down and come downstairs, I'm too tired to make a phone call. And so I'd just veg out.
Yeah.
But I would spend more time calling my loved ones and talking to them and telling them how much they mean to me. Send a lot of text, but that's not the same.
Yeah, that's not the same. I'm totally guilty of that too.
What about you? She's thinking.
Yeah, thinking. I mean, in full transparency, I don't feel like I have a lot of like really, really great friends, but the ones that I do have, I feel pretty close with. I don't know. I feel like we talk about this a lot and we really try to be vocal about how we're feeling and making sure that everybody knows that. So I feel like I'm in a pretty good spot. Probably my dad.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, but outside of that, I feel like we're in a good spot.
Okay, so here's one. Just came across. Well, this one is kind of relevant to the podcast here, and we're going to change a few things around a little bit. If you were going to become a close friend with your partner, not me, but a partner, right?
Okay, business.
Please share what would be important for him or her to know.
Okay,
because I feel like I know those things about you already, but I'd like to hear your answer from someone that you're going to become friends with.
So is this just like we're going to be friends, or does the business context matter? Like, am I trying to make money with this person first and foremost, or am I just in the friend?
This says if you're going to become a close friend, so we're going to stick with that.
Okay.
If you're going to become close friends with somebody from Salesforce.
Okay, I suck at getting back to you. Like, and I think that's because I'm a mom of 2 kids. Like, don't take it personally. I will get back to you, but like, I suck at getting back to people. I am the person that has 136 text messages and
It's very stressful.
don't even ask about my inbox, but and that's really lame of me, honestly. Like, I just need to get better about that. But I think that's part of it too. Like, I'm a mom of 2. I really value our, as in you, Jason, and myself's relationship. And so that's like my number one priority in life. And I setting expectations appropriately. Is that a fair answer?
Yeah, I can appreciate that.
Okay.
That you care, but it may not be, over the top and responding and getting back and showing you that I care, but I care. Is what you're saying.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. Let's see. What else we got here? Do you have an answer to that one?
Yeah, I think maybe a little bit of the opposite of that. Not that I follow up a ton, but like I care deeply. Like my friendships really matter.
It's true.
And like I'm fully invested in you and our relationship and our friendship. And I could see how some people think my checking in every now and then could appear as ulterior motives, but I genuinely just care about my people and want to know like how they are, what they're up to, how can I help them, and like earlier in the year, it's kind of established one of my core drivers is invest in other people, and like that I truly mean that, and that matters to me.
I can attest to all of that being true. Okay, these just keep coming around the same theme, but if you knew that in 1 year you would die suddenly, what would you change? Or would you change anything about the way you are living now, and why?
Yeah, I'd probably stop working less. Let's just go hang out and play and have some adventures and travel more. Like, let's get some experiences as a family and with the kids and appreciate and enjoy all the time that we do have together, instead of spending time in this room, sending our kids to school for 8 hours a day.
Yeah, that's tough.
That's the worst part about all of it. It's how much time they spend at school. Like, the pictures we get of them doing all the things that they're learning at school versus being here.
I know. It breaks my heart. If anybody has sent their kids to like kindergarten and it survived it, can you reach out to us?
Yeah, our kids start school kindergarten in August. So it's going to be August and September are going to be tough months for us. If you talk to us then.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, I think that's really valid. Is there anything like more tactically that you would change? Like, obviously not working. I think everybody would probably say the same.
From which perspective? Like personal, professional?
Personal.
I
feel like if you see a deadline, I'm projecting here, but I feel like professional falls by the wayside.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like we do a pretty good job of living intentionally and following our passions and dreams and trying to establish all of it. I mean, wouldn't going and buying our ranch and spending time on it for a year wouldn't make a whole lot of sense.
No, because then I would be left with so much debt and land to care for on my own. Appreciate you thinking of me.
Yeah. I mean, I'd like I said, I'd take those trips I've always been wanting to take. Anything at the top of the list.
What's your what?
I think like, we've talked a lot about going to Portugal, to Barcelona, going to places and that we've been dreaming of. I still have never been to Portland, Maine, which sounds funny. I really want to go there for whatever reason, as well as Alaska. So,
you guys, he's been talking about Portland, Maine for years. Can someone please host a conference in Portland, Maine?
Yeah, because I only go to places when there's conferences.
Please.
I had a trip planned there a while back, but it got derailed. I've just never had a reason to go, other than the fact that I just want to go check it out and see it. It seems like a cool spot.
See, the thing too is like I would 100% go with you, but you are not telling the other half of the story. You want to drive to Portland, Maine.
Yeah, one of my loves is road trips and long road trips. I just love traveling by highway and being in a car and having all that time. I mean, I want to do some new traveling. If we left from here, like pass through the whole part of the northern half of America. From here to North Dakota. I've never been to Minnesota, so let's go there. Then we'll swoop down under the lakes and pass through that area and just stay in the northern hemisphere of the United States.
Okay, so this reminds me of a little tangent that we should go on for a second. You and I've done that twice.
Yeah, 2 or 3 times. I think I've done it 3 times. You've done it twice from here.
Meaning we moved from North Carolina to Bozeman.
Bozeman to Nashville, Nashville to here.
Oh yeah, and I did Bozeman to Texas. But 2 of them, one of them, the big grand hurrah, you YouTubed the whole thing.
Yeah, the very first time I came out here from North Carolina.
So Jason and I used to be YouTubers.
Yeah, we were vloggers. You can find us on YouTube.
You can. Hit that subscribe button.
Smash it, I think they say.
Oh yeah, smash it. That's what the kids are saying.
Yeah.
But I so cherished those memories and like the videos.
Yeah, we watch them quite frequently around here.
Well, we watch them like maybe once a year, but like it's such an like it's like photos. It just brings you back to that moment, and I had no idea how much I would value those now that our life has changed tenfold. Like going back to it was so great, and I think
those are great. I did a ton of vlogging. I think I've got about 70 videos of all of our adventures, starting from our very first date. That was my very first vlog, all the way. Yeah, that was my first one.
You vlogged our first date?
Oh, sorry, our first hike, not first date.
Okay.
Hike in, Charlotte.
Yeah, even our engagement, there's a vlog on that.
Yep, we got an engagement on the vlog, which was actually a sponsored trip, which was awesome. Our wedding is up there.
Yeah.
All of our back and forth travels across the states.
It's like a video photo album.
Yeah, video collection.
Yeah.
It's fun.
It is fun.
Now the kids enjoy watching them every now and then.
They think we're famous because we're on TV.
Mom and Dad are on TV. We haven't told them otherwise.
Let them think what they want.
I'm as cool as Chase from Paw Patrol right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, we went on a tangent there from road trip. I'm just gonna say really quickly, not because I'm talking to you, but because there is hypothetically an audience here. This is a very different deal.
This is weird looking at you and talking to you with a microphone.
But also thinking that somebody is going to listen to this conversation. Like, I think about people who do podcasts like this all the time. Like, all they do is talk to each other. Like, I love interviewing people and making it about them. It's weird making this. This is just a different...
Interview me, love. Let's go.
I am.
Oh, okay.
So why I'm...
You're doing a great job of making it not feel like an interview. Yeah, you're in the host seat. I'm in the couch, just kind of hanging out like I'm a guest.
Yeah, how does this make you feel?
Yes.
You're in the therapist
I'm gonna have
couch.
to lay down. And I feel a little stressed. No, I'm kidding.
I think it's your turn.
Oh, let me see what we've got here. And
maybe this will be our last, huh?
It should be our last, I think. There's a lot of like really odd questions in these things.
I know. We'll definitely link this in the show notes. Like, take a scroll. It's kind of fascinating.
There's too many death questions in here. What do you value most in a friendship?
I literally just looked at that one. I would say, interesting. We were kind of talking about this yesterday, but like, details matter, I think, is really important. If you're going to have like an intimate relationship with somebody, friendship, marriage, anything, like it has to go more than surface level. And it can be awkward to like get to that point quickly, but I think the sooner you get there, the more value you can add to each other. And like to your point about checking in with people, like it means so much more for me to be able to check in with you. Instead of saying, how are you doing? Say like, how's your kid doing? I know he was sick. Like that's how you build relationships. So details matter. And I guess that translates to the ability to be open and have more substantial conversations.
Yeah. I was thinking about my answers and kind of the same lines, like be 2 things: reciprocation and vulnerability. Those are things that matter to me in relationships, right? It's like we reciprocate the relationship, like the love, the value, the peace of like what we kind of feel and think about each other. that we're both putting in kind of the same effort to establish this relationship, and that we're okay. Like we talked about yesterday, we're okay not being okay and being able to communicate it and talk to each other about real stuff.
Yeah.
I remember one time I sat down with my best friend Dart. Shout out Dart if you're listening. That is his real name, D'Artagnan from the Three Musketeers. I was going through some stuff, and it was not a good time in my life. And he's one of my best friends on the planet. And I was telling him what I was going through, and he was like, "You're an asshole." I'm like, God, I feel like that's one of those moments in our friendship. We were already really good friends then, but I feel like that point in time when he said that, I was like, all right, you're a real one. Like, let's really go down this path and just get closer. Like, I really appreciated his approach, like kind of giving me a slap in the face of saying, this is real. And he was a safe enough friend where I could be vulnerable to share what I was going through with him. And, I appreciate that about relationships when they can become real. And to your point, like below the surface.
Mm-hmm. For sure. And that's what I mean, like having few really, really good friends rather than like hundreds of surface level friends, I think is where my priority is.
Yeah.
Well, friends, we'll wrap it up here. We'll be back next week with our regular scheduled programming. But I do want to take this opportunity to, like, truly from the bottom of our heart, Jason and I are having an absolute blast doing this. So
yeah. This is super fun. We actually have podcast dates on like either Tuesday or Wednesday night where we just sit on the couch together and prepare for the show the next day or that week. And it's become a thing, like podcast date night.
And we also love hearing from you, though, like you as in the listeners and the guests. Like, man, I personally have learned so much just from these conversations. Yeah. And
the feedback has been outstanding. We've got a few friends that have sent some notes to us, some little love notes about the podcast. And that is extraordinarily humbling. We didn't know what we were getting into when we started this thing. We just wanted to start it because we wanted to do it together.
I mean, listen to the intro music. Yeah. Clearly, it was very thought out.
I think the intro music might be the best part of the podcast. We now have we hum it around the house, and now I think Nora's starting to try to hum it a little bit, like the do 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 do.
This is true.
She walks around doing that, and not that we make her listen to the podcast. She just hears us doing it all the time.
Yeah, we'll spare them that.
But yeah, if you have any other feedback, if you want to, hear some people on the podcast, you got ideas for guests, you don't mind leaving us reviews on the Apples or the Spotifys of the world, that would be helpful. But
really what I wanted to say is in honor of Valentine's Day, we
love you.
Seriously love you guys. Like,
love you.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
And if you made it this far in this episode, we extra love you because, man, like, send us a note that you heard the word
hippopotamus,
and we will reward you in some form or fashion.
Yeah, I might even send you a box of Grove
I think so.
Grove cookies.
That's where I was going with that. Yeah.
Just DM one of us hippopotamus, and we'll send you a box. Just not hopefully 100 people send it, but at least one.
I mean, if 100 people do, we got bigger problems. So, anyways, friends, thank you. Happy Valentine's Day, and we'll see you next week.